One of the most important topics and discussing every day in our life relates to biodiversity. But why is biodiversity? Why is it so important? And what actually is biodiversity? Biodiversity refers to the variety and variability among all groups of living organisms and the ecosystem complexes in which they occur, from the driest deserts to the dense tropical rainforests and from the high snow-clad mountain peaks to the deepest of the ocean trenches. Life occurs in a marvelous spectrum of form, size, color, and shape, each with unique ecological interrelationship. Just imagine how monotonous and dull the world would have been had there been only a few species of living organisms that could be counted on our fingertips. In the Convention of Biological Diversity in 1992, biodiversity has been defined as the variability among living organisms from all sources, including inter alia, terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes of which they are a part. Units of biodiversity may range from genetic level within a species to the biota in a specific region and may extend up to the great diversity found in different biomes. Genetic diversity is the basic form of biodiversity. The genes found in an organism can form enormous number of combinations, each of which give rise to some variability. Genes are the basic units of hereditary information transmitted from one generation to other. When the genes within the same species show different version due to new combination, it is called a genetic variability. Species diversity is the variability found within the population of a species or between species of a community. It represents broadly the species richness and the abundance of the community. Ecosystem diversity is the diversity of ecological complexity showing variations in ecological niches, trophic structure, food webs, nutrient cycling, and others. The ecosystems also show wide variations with respect to physical parameters such as moisture, temperature, altitude, precipitations. Thus, there occurs tremendous diversity within the ecosystem along these gradients. We may consider diversity in forest ecosystem, which is supposed to have mainly a dominance of trees. But while considering a tropical rainforest, a tropical deciduous forest, temperate deciduous forest, and a boreal forest, the variation observed are just too many, and they are mainly due to variations in the above mentioned physical factors. The diversity has developed over million years of evolution, and if we destroy this diversity, it would disrupt the function and the dynamics of our ecological balance. We cannot even replace the diversity of one ecosystem by that of another. Coniferous trees of boreal forest cannot take up the function of trees of tropical deciduous forest lands and vice versa, because ecosystem diversity has evolved with respect to the prevailing environmental conditions with well-regulated ecological balance. Thus, unless we appreciate and understand the value of biodiversity, we are at the mercy of our relentless anthropogenic activity that is responsible for the destruction of global biodiversity. Following the 1992 Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, it became evident that there is a growing need to know and scientifically name the huge number of species which are still unknown on this earth. Roughly 1.5 million species are known till date, which is perhaps 15% or maybe just 2% of the actual number. Tropical deforestation alone is reducing the biodiversity by 0.5% every year. Mapping the biodiversity, therefore, has been rightly recognized as an emergency task in order to plan its conservation and practical utilization in a judicious manner. Terrestrial biodiversity of the earth is best described as biomes, which are large ecological units present in different biogeographic areas and are named after dominant vegetation, such as the tropical rainforests or tallgrass prairies, savannas, desert, tundra, etc. Biological diversity at the national level needs to be recognized. Overall, 6% of global species are found in India. It is estimated that India ranks 10th among the plant rich countries of the world, 11th in terms of endemic species of higher vertebrates, and 6th among the centers of diversity and origin of agricultural crops. Regional or local biodiversity greatly highlights point richness, alpha and beta richness, as well as gamma richness. India is one of the 12 mega biodiverse countries in the world. The Ministry of Environment and Forest Government of India in 2000 recorded 47,000 species of plants and 81,000 species of animal, representing about 7% and 6.5% respectively of the global flora and fauna. So well one can understand how rich the country is with respect to endemism, center of origin, marine diversity, and the hotspots of diversity, which are places that exhibit high species richness as well as high species endemism. It is therefore important to understand the threats to our biodiversity. Extinction or elimination of species is a natural process of evolution. In the geologic period, the earth has experienced mass extinction. During evolution, species have died out and have been replaced by others. However, the rate of loss of species in geological past has been a slow process, keeping in view the vast span of time going back to 444 million years. The process of extinction has become particularly fast in the recent years of human civilization as a result of anthropogenic activity. In the current century, the human impact has been so severe that thousands of species and varieties are becoming extinct actually. One of the estimates by the noted ecologist E.O. Wilson puts the figure of extinction around 10,000 species per year or 27 per day. This startling figure raises an alarm regarding the serious threat to our biodiversity. And the factors include loss of habitat, poaching, illegal wildlife trafficking, human wildlife conflicts, extensively due to our selfish need, and in the destruction of the habitat for the expansion of industry and agriculture. Unless we realize to understand how these species have been shaping our globe and our international, regional, or local biodiversity, we may still be at loss before even understanding what actual biodiversity is. Hence, it is important to conserve our biodiversity. The enormous value of biodiversity due to their genetic, commercial, medical, aesthetic, ecological, and optional importance emphasizes the need to conserve global biodiversity. Gradually, we are coming to realize that wildlife is not just a game to be hunted, rather, it is a gift of nature to be nurtured and enjoyed. A number of measures have been taken around the world to conserve biodiversity, including plants and wildlife. But the two most common approaches are the in situ conservation, which is within the habitat, which is achieved by protection of wild flora and fauna in natural habitat itself or in nature itself, such as biosphere reserves, national parks, sanctuaries, reserve forests, etc., and ex situ conservation, which includes conservation outside the habitats, and this is done mostly by the establishment of gene banks, seed banks, zoos, botanical gardens, aquariums, culture collections, and others. It is therefore important for us to work together in protection of the global biodiversity, because if we fail to protect our environment today, we will not be able to protect our humanity and our next generation down in the time. Nature will take its revenge and make our life more challenging unless we learn to respect nature and protect it from the ruthless destruction as a consequence of anthropogenic activities. Shoykot Kumar Basu, Bureau Report, Kalinga Chronicle TV.